Welcome to historic Thunderbolt Lanes in Allen Park for this very special edition of Bowling Showcase, the only show to bring you everything bowling in the bowling capital of the world, Metro Detroit. I'm your host, Mark Martin. Now today, you're in store for a unique, entertaining, and flat-out fun episode. To help kick off this tournament season, we're once again bringing you the Bowling Showcase Battle of Champions. Here's the format. 3 current MD-USBC tournament champions will be facing off head-to-head in a preliminary round. Each bowler will bowl a 3-ball total pins match against the others. Whatever they knock down, that's their score. After the 3 frames, the low score will be eliminated and the other 2 players will face off for the title later on in the show. If there is a tie, be a 1-ball roll-off. Now, before we get to that action, I'd like to congratulate all of the 2019 Detroit Bowling Hall of Fame inductees and special awards winners. Later on in the show, we'll take a look at the festivities that was this year's Detroit Bowling Hall of Fame banquet and welcome this year's class to this prestigious group. Okay, now it's time for the preliminary round of the Battle of Champions to begin. Let's meet our 2019 champions competing here today. They are Queen's champion Kathleen Mays.
It's made me more confident in myself, especially winning because I was playing more inside, which isn't really my game. So I've been working harder at that this summer to really get ready for the Queens again and the Women's Series as we go moving forward.
Okay.
Good competition because I know the others that are here are very good bowlers and I just hope that I can match them and see what happens.
Women's Series Cup winner Brandy Remy.
Through the summer, we've been bowling in a lot of elite tournaments in our area, mostly against a lot of men. So I feel like that's kind of given me that push and the confidence to strike when I need to, especially against some of these great guys out here. So that's a good strategy to have going in against all the great females that we get to bowl with. It'll be fun. You know, I bowled this 2 years ago and it was just great, friendly competition, and we'll throw some strikes and have some fun with it, and we'll see who gets to take this pretty one home.
And Men's Series Cup winner Gerald Johnson.
It felt great bowling against some of the better bowlers in Michigan. Oh yeah, I've mentioned it to quite a few people. They said, if you can win it, I can win it.
There you go, there you go.
Just do the best I can and cheering for both my other 2 opponents.
Okay, so here we are, the Battle of Champions. We have 3 of our champions, Kathleen Mays, Gerald Johnson, and Brandy Remy, participating in this event, and Kathleen's going to bowl first in this 3-ball event. So let's see what she does. We're on lane 16 here at the Thunderbolt Arena, the famed Thunderbolt Arena. And kicks out that 10-pin. Gerald Johnson, our Men's Series champion, is up second. Men's Series Cup champion. In the first year of the Men's Series this year, Gerald Johnson took that crown. He's now up on lane 16 in the first frame. And a big strike by Gerald. Now Brandy Remy's up. Brandy is the Women's Series Cup champion. The Women's Series moving into its 8th season, run by the Metro Detroit USBC. Brandy and Gerald and Kathleen, all 3 of them participate in the events. They'll be back again this year. And a big strike by Brandy. So at the end of 1 frame, all 3 players have 10. Now up, Kathleen Mays is our reigning Queens champion for the Metro Detroit USBC. This year the Queens at Mary Bowl in Livonia. And a big strike by Kathleen. Of course, if there is a tie in this competition, the way this is going to work, in this preliminary round, the bowler with the least number will be eliminated, and the other 2 will move on to the finals later on in the show. A big strike for Gerald. Our first two players, Kathleen and Gerald, both have 20. And Brandy needs to throw a strike to keep pace here. Oh, 9 for Brandy. So at the end of 2 frames, Kathleen and Gerald have 20 and Brandy has 19. So here in the pivotal and final 3rd frame, Kathleen up here throws a strike that will guarantee her making it into the finals. And a big strike by Kathleen, so she's got 30 through 3. And she guarantees herself a spot in the finals. Gerald Johnson now, if he throws a strike, he will guarantee his spot in the finals, and Brandy would be eliminated. Oh, 9 count by Gerald gives him 29. Kathleen Mays with 30. If Brandy throws a strike here, then we'll have a tie between Gerald and Brandy, and it'll go to a 1-ball roll-off. This little competition is a great opportunity for us to feature our champions from the previous season. And a 9 count by Brandy gives her 28. So the final, and moving into the finals, will be Kathleen Mays, our Queen's champion, and our Men's Series Cup champion, Gerald Johnson. They'll be back later on in the show for the finals, right here on Bowling Showcase. The Michigan State USBC provides tournament competition and recognition for men, women, and youth bowlers in Michigan. Pepsi qualifiers take place in your league, with qualifiers advancing to the state finals. The Youth Masters, the premier scratch event of the state, will take place at Thunderbolt Lanes. Visit MichiganStateUSBC.com for entry blanks and more information on the Michigan State USBC.
A lot of professional tournaments. We've won a lot of tournaments worldwide. I mean, we won more in the last 10 years worldwide than any company. We make good bowling balls, and good players use our bowling balls because they can win with them.
What an exciting preliminary round, and congratulations to Kathleen Mays and Gerald Johnson, who will now move on in the competition to the finals later on in the show. But right now, it's time to improve your game with TurboTech, driven to bowl.
Hi everybody, it's Carolyn Doran-Ballard, and I'm here with Chris Sand at the Turbo Product Showcase, and we're going to show you one of our newest products. We had it before, but we have revamped it. Now, Chris, I just wrapped up my high school bowling season. I coach my daughter. I know you also do with Allison and her team. And one of the things I have noticed is maintenance of the bowling ball. My kids aren't cleaning their bowling balls.
It's not just the kids, it's everybody. I mean, these bowling balls are expensive nowadays and very high performance. So what we want to do in order to get longevity out of these bowling balls is we have to keep them clean. We have to maintain the cover stocks. So one of the things that I've noticed with my girls, because they're a little rev challenged or tend to throw the duller bowling balls, we really see surface change quickly on the duller balls more so than we see them on the shiny balls. So my girls really have to keep their bowling balls clean in order to get the performance out of it.
Well, there's something that we're used to seeing. This is an option for cleaning your bowling balls, but very hard to travel with these. It doesn't fit in the bowling bag, cannot take it on the plane, just the whole 3-ounce rule. So we have come up with some new packaging for our strike wipes. And as I take out one of the strike wipes to clean one of Chris's bowling balls, we're gonna put him to the test to see how much he's cleaned his bowling ball.
Yeah, I'm not, the best at cleaning my bowling balls, although I'm getting better. My daughters kind of get me into the routine. My girls really, really keep up the surface of their bowling balls well.
Now, one of the things I did notice is sometimes if you do have a ball return and your bowling ball does get caught in the back where it gets caught in the belt marks, this is a great way, and I noticed you had a few on here, so took them off. But as you can see, right here.
Yeah, pretty dirty, not very good.
Chris has not done a good job with cleaning his bowling balls. And again, with our new packaging right here, we just seal it back up, and we also have another option. We have the singles right here, and I took one out earlier. We have the single packs. I know I have a couple of people back in Texas that buy these by the box. Why? Because they can take one, they don't use them as much, they don't bowl as often, but it's easy for them just to throw in their purse. They take it out, they clean their bowling balls, they only bowl once a week, boom, they're done. So they don't have to worry about the packaging. So we have two nice options here. Also, if you do run out, you can run into the pro shop and get a single until you buy a new package.
And that single will do multiple bowling balls too on top of it. So not only is my bowling ball smelling great, little tackiness to the surface too. This is a dollar bowling ball, but you can hear it's clean. It's got some tackiness into it. So if you're looking to maintain the performance or longevity of your bowling ball, make sure you visit your Extreme Dealer Pro Shop or visit us on the web at turbogrips.com.
Thank you to TurboTech. We'll continue bringing you coaching tips and techniques every month here on Bowling Showcase, so keep watching to improve your game. Now it's time for another commercial break, but we'll be back with MD USBC upcoming events, check in at the Detroit Bowling Hall of Fame Banquet, and of course, our Battle of Champions final, all coming up next on Bowling Showcase.
The hug pickup, the home run swing, the drum major high step, the genuine joy, the unforgettable party, the food, the friends, the original social network. No matter who you are, it's always a great time. Grab your family, find a friend, and go bowling.
Welcome back. We hope you're enjoying this special edition of Bowling Showcase, the Bowling Showcase Battle of Champions. We'll get to the finals soon, but first, let's look at a very special, historic event that was celebrated at one of our local bowling centers. Gerlach's Bowling Center in Lapeer has been providing a clean, friendly, and fun place for bowlers in the area to get together, compete, and just have a good time. And they've been doing it for over 100 years. You heard me right. Gerlach's Bowling Center has been in continual operation for 100 years.
That's 100 years. Businesses don't last 100 years mostly, and it was just, we've never really had a lot of advertising. I mean, we don't, like on the one road when you drive by, there's no sign on the building. There's a building, there's a parking lot, but there's nothing that tells you what it is. So, everybody just knows where, it's us. You just seem to find it. They find it, yes.
Originally located at the center of town, this current location has been the home to Gerlach's since the late 1940s.
Yeah, they went off to World War II, and then when they got back from the war, It was 4 lanes before the war, and then when they got back from the war, they every GI got a $5,000 bonus. So they and a few other people pitched in their 5,000s. They put the 25 grand that they had, and then they bought the land here and they built a new 12-lane center in 1945.
And the Gerlach family have been owners, operators, and connected to this center the entire time.
My grandfather on my mother's side bought the bowling center in like 1922 or 1921. He ran it for a couple of years. Then he sold it. It changed hands for about 10 times between then and 1939, and then my dad and uncle bought it in 39. And then I started buying out the partners in 1988. And in 2001, I became 100% owner of the bowling center. And it's just something that, I'm hoping it will stay in the family for a long time.
As part of their 100th celebration, a special Midwest Scratch Bowling Series event was held on the weekend of October 4th, with $10,000 added to the prize fund, generously donated by the Gerlach family.
Well, basically, it was just I wanted to throw enough money into the tournament to try to get some pro bowlers here and get some well-known names, which there have been a few, so it's been kind of cool. For me, it's been exciting.
104 bowlers competed in the Scratch event. After 9 games of qualifying, 27 bowlers came back on Sunday to fight it out for the $6,000 first prize and the title. In the end, it was Frank Snodgrass of Centerline who won this special weekend event and took home the top prize. All in all, it was a great way to help celebrate this historic bowling center's 100th anniversary and help give back to the generations of bowlers who have bowled at these revered lanes.
I would like to thank everybody in this area that has made me, the local paper does the best of the best voting, and we've been best of the best every year for the last 13 years. So we've been voted best bowling alley. We made number 4 for the state of Michigan in the best bowling alley voting. So I just like to thank everybody for appreciating what I've done and what I'm trying to do and what I'm going to continue to do. Just try to be the best.
Congratulations to Gerlach's Bowling Center in Lapeer on their 100th anniversary, and here's to 100 more. Thanks to the Gerlach family. Now it's almost time for our exciting final of the Battle of Champions. However, before we get to that, let's look at some of this season's upcoming MD USBC tournaments so you can enter and bowl against the best around, like these bowlers. The MD USBC Youth Championship begins a run of 5 Sundays on November 3rd. This always fun-filled event allows our youth members to enjoy tournament competition. The entry fee is only $15 per person per event, with scholarship points up for grabs. The Youth Championship will be held at Century Bowl in Waterford. Why not get your kids out of the house, be active, and try their hand at winning scholarship points? The MD USBC Super Senior Masters will come to Harbor Lanes in St. Clair Shores on November 2nd and 3rd. After 5 games of qualifying on Saturday, the top players 60 and older will come back on Sunday for single game double elimination match play. When the smoke clears, a new champion will be crowned. The entry fee is only $100. Ron Burgess is the defending champion. The MD USBC Women's and Men's Series kicks off on November 10th at Mayflower Lanes in Redford. This is the first of 5 scratch events designed for bowlers to cut their teeth on keen competition. Brandy Remy was last year's Cup champion for the women, and Gerald Johnson for the men. Call the MD USBC office at 248-443-2695, extension 105 for more information, or visit mdusbc.com. Here's some upcoming events at Thunder Bowl that you'll be interested in. Visit thunderbowl.org for more information. So there you have it. Who knows, you may win one of these tournaments and participate in a future Battle of Champions. Now before we get to our final, let's take a look at the Detroit Bowling Hall of Fame banquet here on Bowling Showcase. Friends, family, and of course bowlers gathered this night at St. Mary's Cultural Center in Livonia to celebrate the distinguished individuals being inducted into this year's class of the Detroit Bowling Hall of Fame. To become a member of this elite group of Metro Detroit bowlers is to achieve one of the highest honors in the bowling community. This multi-generational class of inductees represents the best in Detroit bowling. This year's inductees were Yvonne Jones, Gerald Johnson, Edward Mintz, Deborah Dickerson, David Eatman, and Carol Roberts. And special award winners Tom Strobel, Paul Gross, and Diane Voigt. It was an emotional, fun, and entertaining evening for all the inductees and the audience alike, and another example of why Detroit is the bowling capital of the world. What a great night that was. Now let's head back to the lanes for the exciting conclusion of our Battle of Champions. Okay, here we are in the exciting finals of the Battle of Champions. The two remaining competitors, Kathleen Mays, our Queen's champion, and Gerald Johnson, our Men's Series Cup champion. And Kathleen's elected to bowl first. We're going to do this a little bit different. The first bowler will bowl a frame, and then the second bowler will bowl two. Then the first bowler will come back and bowl two, and then the second bowler will finish out with one frame. Again, it's a three ball match. Kathleen up on lane 16 at Thunderbowl, and crushes a strike right in there. Now Gerald Johnson, our Men's Series Cup champion, will bowl. He'll throw two frames. Four pin for Gerald, so that's a 9 count. Good delivery out there. If you remember earlier in the show, in the preliminary round, the only pins that left were 10 pins, so we have a new leave now, a 4 pin. So Gerald will now throw in the second frame. And a 10 pin for Gerald. And Kathleen Mays now comes up to bowl the second and the third frame, knowing that the max score Gerald can have is 28. So anything more than 28 and Kathleen would close the door on Gerald. There's the ball. Ooh, solid 9 pin. Okay, so here's the setup. Kathleen needs a strike to close out the match. Anything less than that gives Gerald Johnson an opportunity to either tie or win. Gets it out a little wide and crushes it in there for 29. So Kathleen Mays becomes the Battle of Champions champion. It's my pleasure to present you with your trophy, Bowling Showcase Battle of Champions champion.
Thank you.
Congratulations to our Battle of Champions winner, Kathleen Mays. Great job by all of our champions. Now we're getting closer to the Bowling Showcase Youth Challenge starting in a few weeks. Some of these bowlers will be our future champions, so keep that in mind while you're watching this sneak peek. They are the future of our sport. Some of the top youth bowlers Metro Detroit has to offer. Teammates representing their local bowling center out to prove who's best. Varying in ages and experience, but all here for the drive of competition and love of the game. The Bowling Showcase Youth Challenge Trophy is on the line as 8 teams compete in a bowling battle that will leave only one team standing and victorious. 2 teams, 1 elimination match. The battle begins right now from the bowling capital of the world. Welcome to the Bowling Showcase Youth Challenge. You'll enjoy this year's Youth Challenge, so set your DVR to record every edition of Bowling Showcase so you won't miss 1 minute of the action. Hope you've enjoyed this special edition of Bowling Showcase. So why don't you connect with us at Bowling Showcase on Facebook, Twitter, or email us at bowlingshowcase@gmail.com and let us know. Remember, you can watch rebroadcasts of this show and more at mdusbc.com. I'm Mark Martin, and I'll see you next time on Bowling Showcase.